Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you. This is everything that you missed in MMA this weekend. This is the video series on the Clenbat channel where we cover all of the news, all the MMA news, whether it's something about Conor McGregor that everybody's heard of or two fighters that you've never heard about before that are going to be fighting each other. We are going to talk about all of the MMA news today, and timestamps are there if you would like to use them, guys. I'd appreciate you watching whatever part you'd like to. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Let's talk about MMA news. Starting off, the big talk of the week has been Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's come out and said that the UFC has not paid him, but he is confident that Dana White will do right by him. We still haven't heard an update on that unless something came out this morning before this video got launched, but hopefully that's not the case. But hopefully it is the case because I want that dude to get paid. But long story short, Stephen Thompson made weight last weekend. He did everything that he was supposed to do, and he hasn't received his money from the UFC. He did his job. He's supposed to get his money, but he still hasn't. He's been a little bit outspoken about that. So I hope Stephen Thompson gets paid. I like that he's confident that Dana White will take care of him. And honestly, I think they will too, to be honest with you. I can't see them not paying him. Next up, a big talk of the week has been Conor McGregor versus Justin Gaethje. As we all know, Justin Gaethje is the new BMF champion, and Conor McGregor wants to obviously fight for that belt. Conor McGregor wants to fight Justin Gaethje, and Justin Gaethje initially at the post-fight presser was like, I will never fight Conor McGregor. He turned me down. I'm going to do the exact same thing to him now that I have all the leverage. Conor McGregor will never fight me. And then Justin Gaethje all of a sudden says, sign the contract, which didn't really make too much sense because Justin Gaethje for so many years has been saying how much he won't fight Conor McGregor and how much he doesn't want to give him the opportunity. So it's strange. Some people think that Justin Gaethje is just bluffing, and I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, the UFC wants Conor McGregor to fight for a BMF belt. They're not interested in Chandler after the Ultimate Fighter, and I would imagine that they just said, hey, Justin Gaethje, here's like $1 million. You want to take the fight? And Justin Gaethje is like, obviously, yes, and then you'll get more for a Conor McGregor fight. So the BMF nonsense is probably going to continue. I would imagine they're going to get this done, guys. If I had to guess, that's what's going to happen. But of course, it's Conor McGregor, and we have no idea what's going on with that guy as of recent. Next up, we have some very interesting YouTuber drama. So something that took the storm was the MMA Guru versus Ariel Helwani. It all started out with Jamal Hill making a video shouting out the MMA Guru and how Jamal Hill was talking about. Very long story short, Ariel Helwani is doing what Ariel Helwani does and just digging at people, starting to pick fights with fighters, not being on the fighter's side, but pretending to, and all that kind of stuff that Ariel Helwani usually does. So Jamal Hill called him out and then shouted out the MMA Guru, and that made Paddy Pimblett come out and shout out the MMA Guru too, where it's like, hey, both of us fighters agree with you, the MMA Guru, and MMA Guru is starting like this, this whole movement to hate Ariel Helwani, and they keep calling him a worm. I'm not disagreeing with that. It's just, I'm conflicted how I feel about Ariel Helwani, man, because I do not like anything that he does for example, Jamal Hill. What he did to him was completely inappropriate. I like Jamal Hill a lot, and I completely agree with everything that he said. But at the end of the day, Ariel Helwani is good at what he does. He's good at what he does, and I enjoy listening to his interviews. So I'm conflicted for that sense. But there's huge beef going on right now. The MMA Guru started like a movement to hate Ariel Helwani. Understandably so. I'm not saying that's not justified. But now Jamal Hill and Paddy Pimblett are totally right in it, and I'm interested to see if this continues to develop and any other fighters are going to hop on the I hate Ariel Helwani train. Maybe the Diaz brothers, who knows. Next up, so the UFC signed a fighter named Morgan Charriere, and he was a Cage Warriors fighter. I'm not familiar with this fighter personally, but if he's coming to the UFC, I will absolutely be looking back on his fights, especially because I'm very interested in betting on UFC. So that's some news there. It's a very popular Cage Warrior fighter. I saw a video, and it was very wholesome of this dude getting signed, so it's pretty cool. I hope the best for him. It's really cool to see, and a lot of people seem to be pretty hyped on him, but I apologize, I just am not familiar about this fighter myself. Speaking of fighters that we are familiar with, though, Kamaru Usman has expressed interest in fighting Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, which, to be honest with you, I really like that matchup. It's a matchup that we haven't seen yet. It's a matchup that I never really thought of, and it makes sense in the division with Kamaru Usman coming off of his losses and Stephen Thompson wanting to continue to fight up the division, but I don't know if Stephen Thompson's going to take this because obviously Kamaru Usman's a wrestler. I don't know how that's going to go. I don't know if they are going to sign it, but if Stephen Thompson doesn't get his money from the fight or making weight, he will obviously want to make more money. He might be a little bit more inclined to take this fight. I don't know. The potential's out there for this to happen. And speaking of potential, Kelvin Gastelum has been injured again. He pulled out of his fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov, and I was very excited to see this, although I also hated the fight because I didn't want to see either guy lose, and I didn't want Kelvin Gastelum to come fight probably one of the toughest fighters in the division for his debut at 170. So I'm kind of happy this fight didn't happen, but at the same time, like, Kelvin Gastelum moving down to 170, Kelvin is one of my favorite fighters ever. And it sucks to keep seeing him get canceled for these bouts, but I mean, there's nothing you can do if you're injured, right? But that fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov is not happening at all, and the UFC is going to be looking for a replacement. Here's some weird news, though, guys. Themba Gorimbo. You all remember Themba Gorimbo? So The Rock gifted him a house. as far as I know, The Rock is not, or The Rock did not give a reason for why. The Rock is just supporting Themba Gorimbo and his dreams to become a UFC champion. So everything has been paid for. Themba Gorimbo just moved into this place. The Rock bought him a house, which is super, super cool. It's random. I don't know if there's been any relationship between them originally or if The Rock was just doing something nice, because I know Themba Gorimbo has come out a little bit and said that he was struggling with money before, but I don't know what else to think about this. Regardless, it's a very nice thing that The Rock did. It's just a little out of nowhere, and I don't know if there's any story behind that. So if you guys are familiar with that, please let me know down below. I would love to hear from you. But let's continue on with the video, guys. We're moving on to the end of the video here, and before we go, I am going to give you all of the fight announcements that happened this week. I'm going to run through them right now. I'm going to pause, talk about a couple here and there. We have Magomed Ankalaev versus Johnny Walker on October 21st. That is a very, very good fight in the division, to be honest with you. I have no idea who's going to win that. If I had to guess, I'd say Ankalaev, but Walker's a very dangerous man. Now this one is exciting. We have Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez on October 14th. I'm interested to see how Yanez is going to bounce back from this, and I am personally a very big fan of Jonathan Martinez. Love his skill sets, love watching him fight, love his personality. I'm a big, big fan of that guy. Continuing on, we have the return of Sean Woodston taking on Marion Santos. This is happening this weekend, which I forgot about. That is insane. We have Fernando Padilla versus Kyle Nelson on September 16th. Miles Johns versus Dan Argueta on September 23rd. Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez on October 7th, and Brian Battle versus AJ Fletcher on September 23rd. I think we all love watching Brian Battle fight. Brian Battle is very, very exciting, a great contender. I cannot wait to see him perform again. So these are some very, very good fight announcements. I'm particularly excited for Jonathan Martinez. I'm just a big fan of that guy. Great fights announced this week. And guys, before I let you go, here's some fights that you should be watching this weekend. So tonight I'm a little bit conflicted. Well, not really. One championship is on, and that is my favorite organization. Alizov is fighting, my lock of the week. I love watching that dude fight. The card is very, very solid in one championship tonight. I'm very excited for it, but I also really enjoy watching all these prospects in LFA, but LFA is also on. I'm going to be watching one championship, though. That is my favorite organization of all time. And of course, we have the UFC card taking place on Saturday. A very, very underrated card. It looks great. There's a lot of prospects on the card. There's a lot of underrated fighters on there. So if you guys are watching this channel, I'd imagine you're hardcore fans, but check out the card. It is absolutely fantastic. Watch it from the early prelims on. We have a great weekend of fights to watch, guys. And with that being said, that puts an end to this video today. That is all the MMA news that I brought to you today, guys. Every single Friday we have this video out, so subscribe if you'd like to stay up to date, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video on the screen right now. If you'd like to continue watching the Clenbat channel, there will be 2 videos for you on screen to check out. I will see you either there or in the next video, guys. Take care.